Wait for some people to come in here. Nobody here so far. Went ahead and just go live right away on my phone. See how that works. I said I got one person in here, two people. I'm gonna let a little bit more people come in before we start talking. Brian Kelly to LSU. He's expected to be the next LSU head coach. Um, I don't know, man. Give me his guy's faults. It just happened. Just happened. I'm on my phone going live, so bear with me with the coverage and how it looks. But Brian Kelly to LSU. He is leaving Notre Dame to come to LSU. So it only took 2 days to get a new coach. Maybe we thought it was too long. Seems like, Lincoln Riley was our guy. Maybe he wasn't. Media switched it up. Half people say Lincoln was our guy. We left scrambling. Half said Lincoln Riley was never our guy. But I don't know. We got Brian Kelly. Has Brian Kelly been the guy all along? I don't know. Who knows? A lot of people say Brian Kelly. I've seen this today on Twitter. A lot of people say Brian Kelly. He wouldn't fit into the LSU culture. I don't know anything about that. I think he'll fit right in. I think he'll fit right in. Give me your thoughts on Brian Kelly. Um, he will be the next head coach at LSU. I'm currently grilling up some steaks on the grill. That's why I can't go on the computer. But Brian Kelly to LSU. Just give me guys some comments. What do y'all think? Brian Kelly to LSU. No longer no longer with Notre Dame, which is crazy. Notre Dame only has one loss, and they still have a chance. You know, still have a chance to make the playoffs. Well, we got two comments. Ryan on Facebook, interesting choice. Not sure if it's the right choice. Depends how he'll recruit. I think he'll recruit just fine. I mean, isn't Notre Dame top 10 in recruiting every year? I mean, I see one of the things where he says, I hope LSU fans, and this was a fan, I'm not too sure who he was a fan of, but he said, I hope LSU fans enjoy Boeing offenses. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think his offense is a little bit more old school. He likes to use the tight ends. He likes to run the ball, and he likes to pass off of running the ball. I mean, that's kind of what we're used to at LSU, other than 2019 and beyond. I mean, so we'll see what happens. I mean, I think down here, he's going to get a lot more explosive, more explosive prospects down here in Louisiana than he would in Notre Dame. I mean, Notre Dame, I know they're top 10, but in recruiting, but I mean, LSU's just a different breed on the athlete. So we got another comment by Mike. Mike, he says, I mean, I guess. He says he guesses. Let's get some more comments in. That was only two. But, man, Brian Kelly to LSU. Crazy, man. I never thought we would get a head coach after the Lincoln Riley debacle. I didn't know who it was. I didn't know who to believe. I mean, multiple experts, um, multiple experts saying all kinds of different things. So nobody knew what was going on. So I just want to know if Brian Kelly was the guy all along. I just want to know if he was or was not. So give me y'all's guys' comments on that. Do y'all think Brian Kelly was the guy all along? Let me know. Comment below. But I don't know. It seems like, Lincoln Riley was the guy. We got outbidded by USC. And some say we left scrambling, searching for a coach. Some say this is a desperate coach. Some say it's not a good hire. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. Brian Kelly's a good coach. He's a guy I would like to see in the pros one day, but obviously, we don't want that now. He's at LSU. So, give me, let's see. Troy Fussell, he says he thinks it's plan B. It could been. It could have. You know, he is a Scott Woodward type of guy. He's extremely professional. Um, I've never seen him getting in trouble as far as, you know, slips up with the NCAA. Nowhere near as bad as Title IX. I mean, I heard maybe he's a hard ass, but that's about it. TFG Faye, he says he's an LSU fan. Well, what a time to be alive to be an LSU fan. Troy Fussell says, I'll trust Woodward for now. And you know what? You got to, man. You got to, because we have no choice. He kept us in the dark. But, I mean, it is what it is. He says he thinks Brian Kelly is a good hire. I think so, too. Thomas, I believe, is a Notre Dame fan. Let me know if you are, Thomas. I think you were a Notre Dame fan. He says, great hire coming from a Notre. Oh, he is a Notre Dame fan. Sad night for us. Oh, I mean, I'm surprised, Thomas. Now, my question is, what does Notre Dame do? Do they give Marcus Freeman the shot to be a head coach in Notre Dame? Marcus Freeman, a guy we tried to get a defensive coordinator last year for LSU, a Midwest guy. Maybe that's why he wanted to go to Notre Dame. Who knows? Like, who really knows? TFG Faye says, go Tigers. Go Tigers. But yeah, Brian Kelly to LSU, guys. Give me your thoughts down below. Do you think he was the guy all along? I don't know. Like I say, guys, I'm cooking up some dinner on the grill. I got some steaks going, so bear with me. I just figured I'd go live real quick and get y'all's guys' thoughts. I think my steaks are almost done. But man, I don't know. I think see, I getting some texts. But I think, is it official? I mean, I believe it is. It says it's expected. I was watching Are You Serious Sports with Blake Lafino, and he said it's happening. So I mean, it's. I think it's official. I think it's a done deal. He is. He will be your next coach at LSU. It seems like, but nothing's official. Um, Nothing's official until it's pen on paper. Huh. I wonder what's up with my cam. But yes, I am an LSU fan. I am an LSU fan for sure. I don't have no clue what's going on with the camera. But yep. So LSU is hiring Brian Kelly. Let me remove myself from the stream real quick to see if it pops back. I don't know what's going on. Got my dog right here. But yeah, I don't know. My cam's not working anymore for some reason. But Brian Kelly to LSU. Give me y'all's guys' thoughts on that. Uh, yeah, I just. He says, I think we'll have a better record next year. Oh, I hope so. I hope we have a better record. You know, honestly, I don't think it would be that hard for him. You know, I think he's going to have a lot of talent. He's a guy that seemed like he was recruiting Walker Howard pretty hard. And, I know he's one of the number one quarterbacks in the nation coming in, 5-star guy. I mean, who wouldn't? But he's a guy that's heavily locked down. He's a guy that's heavily locked down to LSU. So I mean, Walker Howard might be, another reason why Brian Kelly came down here because even though Walker Howard says it's not LSU, but he was impressed by Notre Dame. It's his bigger competition. I mean, yeah, he finally gets to experience a conference, which he's never had to deal with before. Um, but people say like Lincoln Riley dunk in the SEC. I don't necessarily agree. I think Lincoln Riley went to USC for the money. He got paid. He getting paid more than any college coach in America. Hell, even NFL. But Brian Kelly, you know, he knows he's a good coach. He knows LSU, what a good coach can win you a national championship, even with Alabama, a Georgia, or Arkansas in your conference. LSU, with a good coach, is a national championship contender for sure. He said, "Yep, we do have a lot of talent." You got to think, well, yeah, I mean, pulling a guy from Notre Dame, and his season's not even over yet. They could make the playoffs with if there was a 2-loss team that might have been like, let's say if Alabama loses and that makes it 2 losses for him of the season. I mean, you would think Notre Dame might have a chance to sneak into the playoffs, but man, he leaves LSU for LSU before that even happens. That tells you all you need to know. There goes the Cam. Sal Manila Pie. That's a hell of a name. He says, terrible hire. Give me some explanation. Tell me why it's a terrible hire. Troy says he got a pretty great deal out of USC. He sure did. That man is shown the red carpet, guys. Nobody was outbidding USC. USC's trying to become a powerhouse. Yeah, I agree. Well, I wonder what his contract with Notre Dame was. I mean, I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked. Sorry, guys. I'm grilling some steaks. Trying to multitask. But I'm not surprised he came to LSU. I mean, that just tells you he wants the national championship. And no matter how tough the SEC is, your best chance of winning a national championship is in the SEC if you're a top tier team in the SEC. If you're a coach for Bama, Georgia, even a Florida, LSU, you have a chance to win a national championship because the talent is there. The talent is there. So, I mean, if you're a good coach, you should be a national championship contender every single year. You know, Jackson says, definitely not our hire. Just like Kim and Jay, Scott keeps his hire still tight till he releases him. That is true. That is true. I mean, you got to compare it to the baseball hire, right? They wanted the Florida coach. I don't really watch baseball, but I know they wanted the Florida coach, right? He ended up not coming here for some reason, and then they wanted some guy named Pat Casey, right? You know, uh, he doesn't come here, and then next thing you know, you get Jay Johnson, still good coach. He might have been the second or third option, but he turns out to be a good coach. He's number one in recruiting baseball, right? So there you go on that. Let's see. TFG Face says, I think he was the better pick for our coach the whole time from the moment we fired Coach O. Hey, you predicted it, man. Good job. But no, I think it's people say why didn't we go young? Or I figured LSU. I said the same thing, but you got to think about it. The only two younger coaches that really felt like fit the build what Scott Willward was looking for was Lincoln Riley, USC gone, and Billy Napier. And Billy Napier is a guy that has gone to Florida, but he's a guy that LSU didn't want in the first place. So those are the only two younger coaches. I mean, I would think Napier's in his 40s, Rick Allen's 38. So, I mean, you really didn't have much younger coaches that had the experience that you feel like had, the enough pedigree to take over LSU. LSU wasn't going to hire first-time head coach. They were going to get an experienced head coach. As you saw, Scott Woodward wanted Jimbo Fisher. He wanted Jimbo Fisher. I don't even know how old Jimbo Fisher is, but that man looks old. He's probably in his 60s. So that just tells you what type of guys he's looking for. He's looking for a guy, it's kind of similar to what Nick Saban does. Kind of similar to what Nick Saban does at Alabama. He wants somebody that can control the whole program. And Brian Kelly been with Notre Dame for 12 years. That should tell you all you need to know what Scott Woodward wanted. Elijah said, no, Brian Kelly better stay at Notre Dame. Nah, he's not staying at Notre Dame, bro. You know what hurts is they're not in the conference. I honestly feel like that's what hurts him. He's not in a conference. He's literally not in the conference. I feel like that's what hurts him. At the end of the day, I think he wanted to be in the conference. They were in the conference the COVID year, but I mean they should have stayed there. You should have became an ACC school, or did they join the ACC? I don't know. No, they still became independent, I believe, but. I think being Notre Dame not being in a conference, and kind of like draws a little feedback to Notre Dame, So who that says if it's legit, LSU could have done worse, in my opinion. I like Kelly more than Riley, scary ass. I mean, I like Riley better than Chip Kelly. I mean, Brian Kelly. Let's just set that straight. Lincoln Riley is one of the best coaches in football. And I'm not saying Brian Kelly isn't. It's just, Lincoln Riley's a lot more younger. And he's already done things that Brian Kelly has done. And it took 12 years for Brian Kelly to do. Lincoln Riley was the better coach, and I think he was the number one candidate. TFG Face says, we need a coach that's going to get a national championship every year or every other year. I think that plays a part. Brian Kelly stays consistent. He stays consistent. I think he's had one or two off years, I believe. I mean, I didn't really take a deep dive. I would have to go back and look. But I think he had 1 or 2 years where, he had about 3 or 4 or 5 losses. And other than that, I mean, he's had multiple 10-win seasons. He's made to the college football playoffs, twice? Twice, and he's been to a BCS national championship against Bama. So, I mean, he's definitely got the pedigree, and he knows how to run a program, and you know how Notre Dame is. I mean, some would say Notre Dame is probably a tougher program to run than LSU, because Notre Dame's historic, and it's a Catholic school, and so it has a lot going on with that school. We think LSU has a lot going on, but Notre Dame, Notre Dame is on a worldwide stage, and LSU is too, don't get me wrong, but not as much as Notre Dame. But my food became ready. My steaks are ready. They're off the grill. I think I'm going to head on out. But thank you guys for tuning in. I'm going to try to get a show going sometime this week to get in more depth about the hire. So I'll post that on my pages and tell you the next time I go live. I'm looking for a guest who covers LSU, maybe to come on as well. But just make sure to hit that subscribe button on all social media platforms. You can follow me on Twitter. It says it on my username, Sean _Melatello1. But yeah, see y'all guys later.